Whoa! I'm Pastor Margo, and this is ICAP, International Commercial Archeology Preservation Group. Like a solar cap, preserve the solar and preserving history. Alright, we were been talking about different things related to business, product, entertainment, you name it, from beginning to the end. ICAP been around since last fall, okay, but it's under the umbrella with the rank history, so that's now the big one. Alright, I'm Margo, the little history, and all that. Okay, just today we're talking about that brand, the that brand week. Just today we're talking about snowmobiles, the that brand snowmobiles. Today we're going to talk about that stores, department stores. Remember, there were so many different department stores through the years, especially in the 20th century. Yes, I did. I remember a lot. I'm going to name regional and national. You may never heard of because it was not in your area. So I apologize, did not include your area that a lot of the department stores began in different area. For example, Chapel with Darlington to New York. So with Day Brothers. Edward department stores, E.G. Edwards actually, were upstate New York. Not just central New York. They had it all the way out to Buffalo. Okay? Right now, Boscovic is regional of Pennsylvania and New York State, and they still won't come to Syracuse. Anyway, sorry, but that's my opinion. You have your own opinion. And the new with the national region, national retail, such as, well, a lot of them were more or less like regional. Very few national, like Caldor, remember Sears and Kmart. Only one Kmart lot, the small dollar store size, trying to be like a dollar store. I think it's because they had to do with the lease contract that Eddie Lambert stuck with. Because of a lawsuit, you have to have it running. So, until it's finished, probably close that up. Alright, now let's name them all. Like I said, which came out in Sears. Sears was one of the first catalogs. It was thick as the Bible. Remember that? Thick, big catalogs. With a lot of illustration. I have a copy of that of 1903, I think, back in Syracuse. That one, that was from my mom. That was the year her mother was born, I think. So, it was fun looking at. Oh, wow, horse carriage and those to the floor direct. Corsage, getting toasted. Piano. Theaters to sell all those stuff, including houses. But I think the houses were not in that catalog. I remember it. Not there. They have everything out. No photographs. They're all illustration. Photograph. We're around 200 years now. But back then it's all illustration. That's the way things were. They were the first Amazon. But Deere didn't do right, thanks to the previous management and then Eddie Lambert. Both did not do right. They should have gone online, quickly switched to online. They would have been better than Amazon today. But to let Amazon win the leadership, they're ranked number one now. Deere was. Deere now did. Although there's a few Deere left in Mexico and other countries because of separate ownership, because they have the right to use the name. So Eddie can take that away. Speaking of that, there's Kmart. Been around a long time. Used to be Cambridge. The K. And it was switched to Kmart. Although the founder was much of that having the name changed. But the board did anyway. They changed the name. Because Cambridge sounds more like more classy name. Like a moderate level, like with Deere and Penny. All department stores had name after a person. All of it. All of it. Look, there were Kaufman, Dade, Penning, Chapel, Edwards, Deere, Courage. The change who came out. Courage Mart, Corvette, Matey. They all use last name of someone. I'm not sure about others. I didn't do a lot of research of the other company. Burned Eye became wet. You see, before there were two major department store owners. Two. The big two. But they own all the little ones under their umbrella. But it would merge. May and Federate department stores merge. Then they decided to have all the name Matey, with a big mistake, in my opinion. They want to have one uniform because they thought it's cheaper. You know why? For example, using one letterhead instead of 50 to 100 different letterheads. So it makes it easier to email broadcast with one letterhead. That's understandable. And same way with the press release and things like that. And it's cheaper to manufacture all the time to be under one name. If you have a few, it costs more per group. Let's say if it's only 3 department stores under that name, it costs a lot of money to do all 3. That's why to name them all the same. That's probably what hurt Matey. Matey is not that brand yet. But the reason I'm mentioning that because they had all the different store brands. Burned Eye, Kaufman, so many different stores. And we're under that name. Some department stores were catalog stores. Bat and server merchandise, for example. I mentioned that before, a few weeks ago. I love server merchandise. Server merchandise related competitors like BAT, BEST, all capitalized, raised letter like that. the catalog like Deere and Penny did. But they are rebooted type of catalog stores like what Deere and Penny used to be, because they became more just storefront, big store with everything in it. And you buy off the floor. That's the way it used to be with Deere and Penny, the catalog, because they don't have everything in their store. The general store was small. Probably small as the trailer back then. So, that's just like today in the Philippines and Thailand and all the other countries they call sorry, S-A-R-I, which means variety store. That's what they were with Deere and Penny. And they grew into catalogs. That's where Devon merchandise, GM, GM, and some government stores as well. And but they all had catalogs like Deere and Penny, but they small. It makes it easier per square foot. Should have been profitable, but they all folded before all the other department stores got. Before. That's amazing. And that's the same year Amazon skyrocketed. It had nothing to do with Amazon. Nothing to do with that. It, according to what I read, several articles, they should fold because people don't want to bother with the catalog. They want to go buy and grab things like they did with Walmart. Walmart was the one that to be blamed. Not Amazon. Walmart. That's what they're all saying. Walmart, boom, 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 all over the country. Killing all out of stores. They along with Target, now 1 and 2. They're 1 and 2. Followed by Macy's or Pennington. A lot of Pennington closed yet. I haven't seen J.C. Pennington in years now. Okay. So, they're trying to make a comeback with that, with IKEA, having a catalog store. They do have catalog, but they're going to do that way. Because they're trying to cut down the cost per square footage. Good for them. Let's see. Chapel with Central New York clothing store. Just clothing. They have a lot of clothes. They had some other stuff as well. Some kitchen and bath articles. Merchandise. The main lake was clothing. Day Brothers. The Whipple Scale department stores. Same size as Sears. With square footage. Not just clothing, they had everything out. They even used to make watches up on the top floor downtown Syracuse, New York. It was the first headquarters. It's now apartment condos on the line of street downtown near Landmark Theater. You would go to Syracuse to look at those old buildings. That's where my grandmother used to work. She worked in the fabric department. Just like what Walmart had with those fabrics. Award-winning, that's who she was. And they had a small restaurant. I still can remember what it's like. One wall with all that, looked like wallpaper painting. With a gold copper color. Artwork on there, on the white walls. With those UFO, flying saucer, Danish lamp, they call that. Danish panic. I remember all that. Those plastic chairs. Some department stores had restaurants, of course. Back in the day, they had everything. They were like the shopping mall in one roof. The store without walls. Now, that brings up to Edward, with another major department store in central New York and western New York. It sold everything as well. It was a little price that made me one step above Sears and Penny. They Brothers, the same as Sears level. Fala was another local chain. Mostly clothing, mostly female, but it was a big department store. As well as Addict, ADDIAT. They merged with Day Brothers. Then they fold in the 90s, early 90s. Caldor. It was very much like a Kmart, more toward Target department store type, because they both have something very much in common. Red color, and they both a very minimalist look on the outside and the inside. They ruined that beautiful stipulate spelling, which was mechanism. MESH, match. The way it's shaped, it's beautiful architecture. Should have kept that, but no. Caldor wants the boring looking building. To be honest, that's why I never went to Caldor. Never bought a thing, because of what they did to Sibley building. I know Sibley moved and sold. They moved and merged with Kaufman. Then Kaufman became Macy. So that basically was Sibley. That was sad about that. When I found out, it was because my ex-fiance friends with the family that owned Caldor, the Caldor family. They told her, and she told me, because I told her, they were stupid to build that in that ugly, boring building, and where Sibley's used to be at Fairfield Mall. Then she told me why they went out. They overbuilt too quick. Okay, let's open it at that at the same time. Remember the wit? Nobody beat the wit. Unfortunately, somebody beat the wit. Wit was electronic department store. Yeah, all these different electronics. I saw the wit in Carousel Mall. They came and went like that before I was able to shop. They had escalators on one of those floors. I want to go downstairs. Oh, you're already in the wit. And walk out. Now it's all mall part. Because they closed up and all that. It was after Carnival. Carnival was a restaurant I'll talk about another day. Then it became wet. Then closed up. Only one part of the Chinese $99 store. And something else over there. Oh, wait a minute. That's the bandit of Burleson Coast factory store. Bird eye coming down in Florida. I saw a bird eye. That was a really beautiful store in Perry Mall, way down south of Miami, all the way down on US 1. That same shopping mall which J.C. Penney was, and a couple other things. They were like Macy. Same value of the expenses and all that. Higher quality. I was like, beautiful architecture inside the store. A lot of reflective mirrors like the 80s look. But this is just newly 2000. But I think I heard they closed. I'm not sure. See. Sibley was all over Pennsylvania and New York State. Similar footprint to Kaufman. And that's why the buyout replaced them. Mergers. That's why everybody keeps buying out mergers and get less and less department stores. Today, the big two are Walmart and Target. Target was the merger at one point. It used to be two different department stores. Or one more department store I can say before I can go. Hudson Bay. After 336 years, finally closing. It began at the fur company. Yeah, they sell fur back then. That was clothing. Became a clothing store, and they sold a lot of things as well. The clothing this year. So there's a lot of more I can name because it will be all night for me to say that. It's all over the country. So I'm saying from my experience in Central New York, in the U.S. So that's all I can say for now. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about dead restaurants. Some of them may still be alive, but I'll mention them too. Alright? Thanks for watching. Whoa! Ciao.